Hi, it's Joe at Red's Fly Shop. So I had some noobs in the shop this morning. 5 just real nice young dudes came in, and I could tell that they were kind of clueless. No offense to them, but they're out there, they're gung-ho, they're trying to fish. And in fly fishing, we've done a great job of making things far too complicated, and I feel like I got these guys set straight, and I want to share with you the advice and the setup that I shared with them, and now I'm going to film a little DIY video. It's really kind of windy and rainy, so I'm going to apologize for the wind noise already, but this is real. So a lot of people have trouble with angling tempo, and that's just keeping your fly moving, efficiently moving about the river and staying really focused on your prey, and that is today is going to be trout in a river. And when we have all these interruptions to tempo, that might be tangles, it might be snags in the trees, it might be overthinking our gear, rigs that are way too technical like double nymph rigs or Euro nymphing and all that stuff. That can all provide interruptions to tempo. So here's the setup I'm using, and then I'm going to do some head cam, just fishing. If I catch something, great. If I don't, still going to post it, okay? So the rig I've got is really straightforward. And I'm going to do it down here on the ground because I'm trying to keep the mic low out of the wind. So I've got my 9-foot 5-weight rod. It's a light tackle rod. It's pretty standard. Brand doesn't matter. This is not a sales pitch. But what I've got for simplicity is I've just put on a simple 4X tapered leader, okay, 7.5-foot 4X leader. I know you can't see it very well. And I've got a little indicator, okay? That thing is small. It's a loon tip topper, okay? It casts great. It doesn't stand up in the wind, but it's a delicate indicator, so it will hopefully follow my fly around, okay? Instead of my fly chasing an indicator that's way too big. I haven't done any junctions. This is just the standard leader, but a major tip here is I've got that tip topper way down my leader. It's not anywhere near my fly line. I see a lot of people put their indicators way too close to their fly line, and that's where drag comes from. At the end of this, I've just got a little jig head nymph. The exact nymph isn't important, but that one's a TNT Betis nymph. It's a 14, and I've just got a single fly, and I've got about 3 feet between my indicator and my fly, which means I've got about 4 to 5 feet from my indicator up. What that does, that allows me to have a really nice drift because my leader is on the water more than my fly line. So I'm gonna go ahead and fish. These are gonna be short casts, very simple. I'm probably not even gonna get in the water much, but I just want you to watch the tempo of which I fish this. It's a nice, easy, simple setup. If you feel like nymph fishing especially has got a little complicated for you, go back to the basics, try this rig, and just keep it simple. Where I've decided to fish, there's a real slow area right down here, although you can't see it on video because the wind is making it look like it's fast. There's a slow area right down here, and it's quite fast right up here. So I'm gonna be in this transition water between the fast water and the slow water, and that's a very common place for a trout to want to eat nymphs. So the safest place for my fly when I get started is in the water. I've got this brush behind me, and I'm gonna take my rod and I'm just gonna rotate my rod up, and I'm gonna get one nice little drift. It's only about a 15 or 20 foot cast. I'm gonna make a couple small mends. My goal with this rig is to not hit the bottom too much, okay? So I'm gonna move up a little bit, and I got a nice seam right in here, and I'm just taking these little bites. I'm not gonna cast all that far off the fish. I'll feed a little bit of line, but as soon as I feel like it's not drifting good, I'll go ahead and let it come tight, and I'll just let it end real nice and easy. I don't want to yank it out of there. So I'm just gonna take and throw it right off the water, right back onto the water. No false casting behind me because I don't want to snag the trees. Oh, there was a bite right there, looked like. So the thing about that little tip topper is it's very sensitive. So I'm gonna see a lot of bites on this that I wouldn't see on a larger strike indicator. A couple of mends, a little line feeding. But if you haven't fished, you know, real light nymph rigs like this, I'm gonna sneak upstream just a little bit. Another 15 to 20 foot cast. a mend or two, little line feeding. You see my rod is lifting up and down. Let it end with dignity. Nice smooth swing up at the end. Now there's some water a little closer to me here. I'm just gonna throw it right there's a bite, and I missed him. So like I said, that little tip topper, oh, there was a nibble. All right, so that little tip topper will often show you some strikes that you don't see on a bigger indicator. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit. I'm just feeling like there's a few fish in here close. And I'm looking for water that has rolling chop. Choppy, but slow. When I find water that's choppy but slow, I can be certain that there's probably gonna be a few trout in there. This wind is something fierce here. We're gonna keep moving up, creeping up. And there's nothing that says I can't. I've been pretty stealthy. I haven't snagged and made a lot of noise. There's a nice fish. There we go. Woo! Sweet. Oh, that's a pretty good one. We'll take it. We will take it. I'm gonna walk down into the slower water here. Yeah, that's a good fish. That's a really good fish. But I'm gonna walk down into the slower water to land this trout. And what I'm gonna do is it's kind of a slick, muddy bank here. I'm gonna slide on my butt right in here. When you're landing a nice trout, it's nice to be in the river with them, even though I didn't hook it. From in the water, I'm gonna be in the water. Oh yeah, solid trout. He's got a little more fight than he does size. But decent trout, just on that simple nymph rig. That was a good run there. All right, so when I go to net this fish, I got my net right here. And what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to get this fish a little bit upstream from me if possible. It's pretty good current there. And then drive the fish downstream at my net. So I'm gonna reel a little bit. I'm gonna bring him this way, this way, this way. Oh, come on, buddy, don't come off. You can see that tip topper's not very far above that nymph. You don't have to always be super deep. That's what's beautiful about just a nice, simple rig like this. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift him. He's gonna come downstream right into my net. Awesome, great, perfect hookup right in the upper lip. Nice trout. Took me just a few minutes to get that fish on that simple nymph rig. Beautiful. Beautiful trout. We'll take that right there all day long. Oh, looks like he splashed my lens. That's okay. I'm sure it's blurry and covered in water. But simple nymph rig, I love it. I like good angling tempo. I like to cast and move and cast and move and not snag. But fly fishing's hard. If you're having trouble, simplify things a little bit. A little tip topper, one single nymph with a tungsten bead. That one happens to be called a TNT. And it's a great setup that's super simple. I'll probably accompany this with a blog post, just have that the simple diagram of the setup I'm using here today. Hopefully that will help some of you anglers that are a little newer and still looking to find some more success.